At first glance, Ferrero Rocher looks simple, a small chocolate ball wrapped in gold foil. But inside that chocolate are 5 different components, each one delicate enough to break on its own. A roasted hazelnut, smooth praline cream, a hollow wafer shell, a layer of chocolate, and crushed hazelnuts covering the outside. Now imagine trying to build that structure on a factory production line. One mistake and the wafer cracks. Too much pressure and the chocolate collapses. Too little support and the entire sphere loses its shape. Yet factories manage to produce millions of perfectly identical Ferrero Rocher chocolates every single day. But the real mystery isn't the gold wrapper. It's how factories manage to combine a whole hazelnut, smooth praline cream, a fragile wafer shell, and a crunchy chocolate coating into one perfectly round chocolate without breaking it. And today, we're going to uncover exactly how they do it.
Before any machine in this factory even starts moving, everything begins thousands of kilometers away.
Before Ferrero Rocher ever enters a production line, the story begins in massive hazelnut orchards. Ferrero sources many of its hazelnuts from fertile regions like Piedmont, known for producing some of the most flavorful nuts in the world. Additional supply also comes from countries such as Turkey, where millions of hazelnut trees are cultivated every year. During harvest season, farmers wait until hazelnuts naturally fall from the trees. This natural drop ensures the nuts reach peak maturity and oil concentration. The fallen hazelnuts are collected using specialized harvesting machines that sweep orchard floors. After collection, the nuts are dried to reduce moisture and prevent mold growth. Trucks then transport tons of hazelnuts toward Ferrero's major manufacturing centers, including the famous factory in Alba. Each shipment entering the factory is tested for moisture, size consistency, and oil quality. Only the highest quality batches are approved for production. Approved hazelnuts unloaded into massive storage silos inside the facility. And once those silos open, the quiet journey from orchard to factory transforms into a fast-moving industrial process.
Before roasting begins, every hazelnut must survive a brutal inspection system.
From storage silos, hazelnuts enter long conveyor belts that feed them into industrial cleaning machines. Powerful vibrating screens shake away dust, leaves, and small debris collected during harvesting. Large air blowers remove lightweight particles that could contaminate production. Then, the nuts pass through rotating drum separators that filter out stones and foreign objects. Next comes optical sorting technology. High-speed cameras scan thousands of hazelnuts every second. Artificial intelligence systems analyze color, size, and shape instantly. If a nut appears cracked, darkened, or misshapen, compressed air jets blast it off the conveyor. The remaining hazelnuts move forward with nearly identical size and shape. This uniformity is critical because every Ferrero Rocher must contain one perfectly sized nut. Once sorting is complete, the hazelnuts move toward the roasting department, and this is where their flavor finally begins to transform.
This step unlocks the aroma people recognize instantly.
This step unlocks the aroma people recognize instantly. Raw hazelnuts enter enormous rotating roasting drums the size of small trucks. Inside these machines, hot air circulates at carefully controlled temperatures. As the nuts tumble through the drum, their natural oils begin to release. This triggers chemical reactions that intensify the nutty flavor. The roasting process also loosens the thin brown skins covering each hazelnut. After roasting, the nuts pass through air-powered peeling systems. Powerful fans blow away the loosened skins in seconds. The roasted hazelnuts then move through cooling tunnels. Rapid cooling prevents the nuts from becoming bitter. At this stage, thousands of perfectly roasted hazelnuts are ready for chocolate assembly. Some will remain whole for the chocolate centers, Others will soon be crushed into small pieces that create the signature crunchy coating.
This step creates the smooth chocolate layer hidden beneath the crunch.
While whole hazelnuts are prepared for the center, another production line begins grinding roasted nuts. Industrial grinders crush hazelnuts into a thick paste. The paste flows into giant stainless steel mixing tanks. Sugar, cocoa powder, and milk ingredients are added to the mixture. Massive mixing blades slowly combine the ingredients. Heat control systems maintain the ideal temperature for chocolate blending. The mixture gradually transforms into a smooth hazelnut praline cream. Sensors monitor viscosity to maintain the correct texture. If the mixture becomes too thick, it could damage the delicate wafer shell later. If it becomes too thin, it may leak during assembly. Once perfected, the praline cream is pumped through pipelines toward the production line. But before the cream can be added, the factory must first build the fragile wafer sphere that holds everything together.
This fragile shell is the most delicate structure in the entire chocolate.
Liquid wafer batter is poured into heated industrial molds. Massive baking presses close over the molds and cook the batter in seconds. The result is thin, crispy wafer sheets. Automated cutters shape the wafers into small circular pieces. Robotic forming machines press these pieces into hollow hemispheres. Each hemisphere is incredibly thin and lightweight. Conveyor belts carefully transport them to assembly stations. Robotic arms gently place the wafer halves into holding trays. At this point, thousands of fragile wafer shells move through the line every minute. The next machine places a small amount of chocolate cream inside each shell. A roasted hazelnut is then placed precisely in the center, and once the second wafer half closes on top, the first complete sphere begins to form.
This is where the chocolate finally takes shape.
Assembly machines align two wafer hemispheres together. Precision nozzles apply a small ring of chocolate around the edge. This chocolate acts like edible glue. The second wafer half is placed on top. Mechanical presses gently seal the two halves together. Inside the shell, the hazelnut sits perfectly in the center. The sphere now has its basic structure. But there are still gaps inside the wafer shell. That's where praline filling comes in. Injection nozzles carefully pump praline cream into the remaining spaces. This forms the soft chocolate layer surrounding the nut. Now the delicate sphere is ready for its outer chocolate coating.
This is where Ferrero Rocher gets its iconic texture.
The wafer spheres travel along conveyors into chocolate enrobing machines. Streams of melted milk chocolate pour over each sphere. The machines rotate the chocolates to ensure even coverage. Immediately after coating, crushed roasted hazelnuts rain down from above. These nut fragments stick to the wet chocolate surface. Rotating drums roll the chocolates gently. This spreads the nut pieces evenly across the coating. The result is the rough, crunchy outer layer people recognize instantly. But the chocolate coating is still soft and unstable. If touched too soon, it could smear or collapse. That's why the chocolates immediately move toward temperature-controlled tunnels, because the next stage determines whether the chocolate holds its perfect shape.
Without this step, the chocolate would never survive packaging.
Freshly coated chocolates enter long cooling tunnels. Cold air circulates through the tunnel at precise temperatures. As the chocolates move forward, the outer chocolate layer slowly solidifies. This process stabilizes the entire structure. The chocolate coating locks the wafer shell in place. Inside, the praline cream remains soft and smooth. The hazelnut center stays protected within the layers. By the time the chocolates exit the tunnel, the shell has fully hardened. Now the spheres are strong enough to be handled by machines. But before they reach packaging, each piece must pass inspection. Because the luxury appearance of Ferrero Rocher requires perfection. Even the smallest defect can cause a chocolate to be rejected.
Every chocolate must prove it deserves the gold wrapper.
High-speed cameras scan each chocolate as it moves along the conveyor. Software analyzes the images for cracks, missing nut pieces, or uneven coatings. Weight sensors verify that every chocolate contains the correct filling. If a piece fails inspection, robotic arms remove it instantly. Only flawless chocolates continue down the line. At this stage, thousands of pieces move through inspection every minute. The approved chocolates travel toward the final production department. This is where Ferrero Rocher gains its most recognizable feature. Robotic arms place each chocolate into a small brown paper cup. Thin sheets of gold foil wrap around the sphere. A branded label seals the wrapper, and suddenly, the chocolate transforms into the iconic golden treat seen around the world. The reason factories can assemble Ferrero Rocher without breaking the wafer is layer engineering. The hazelnut core provides stability. The praline cream cushions the interior. The wafer shell forms the lightweight structure, and the outer chocolate coating locks everything together. This precise sequence allows factories to produce millions of identical chocolates every day. Ferrero Rocher might look like a simple chocolate ball, but inside that gold wrapper is a carefully engineered combination of roasted hazelnuts, praline cream, crispy wafer, and chocolate coating. A dessert built from multiple delicate layers working perfectly together. And that's how factories transform a single hazelnut into one of the most recognizable chocolates in the world.
If you enjoyed exploring this factory process, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more factory process documentaries. Because the next time you unwrap something simple, it might hide an entire industrial story inside.